Hi, welcome to Drew Code Sports Talk. I am your host, Andrew Wright. Over here to my right, your left, is my co-host, Cody Johnson. And Cody, I am ready. I was ready the video before, and now I'm ready now. We have March Madness. It's an inside joke where I'm not going to explain it.
Right.
Anyway, man, March Madness is here. A little bit about what we're going to be doing. Last year, we had a special guest. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have him this time. But we did one whole video of us picking.
Right.
This year we're doing a little different. We're breaking it into different videos. One video will be round of 64, and then round of 32, and then Sweet 16, and so on and so forth. Right. So we are going to be breaking it down. It's going to be a little bit longer than the videos that we have been doing recently, but we're still trying to condense it as much as we can. Mm-hmm. There are 64 teams, so we do have to go through a lot.
Right.
But, and please, if you guys want to challenge us, if you think you could beat us, if you think you know more than us, which I'm going to say you don't.
Good
but
luck.
Anyway, please join us on the ESPN app, the Tournament Challenge. It's under Drew Code Sports Talk. Please join our group and see if you beat us. Hey, we would love it. We want to see what you guys think. So, let's go. Let's start picking.
Let's go. All right, Andrew, so now it's the round of 32 for our tournament challenge right now. And if you want to follow us, just go to ESPN Tournament Challenge. Drew Code Sports Talk is the group if you want to compete against us.
You're not going to win. I'm just saying.
Just letting you know. So anyways, round of 32. So, Andrew, in the South region, I have Virginia versus Creighton. Who do you got?
I have Virginia. I really like this defense. Creighton is a good offensive team. But what Virginia has done against any good offensive team is they've shut them down.
Right.
I like this Virginia team. I think they roll against Creighton.
I think Virginia is a crazy good team, and they're going to put a whooping on Creighton, and they're going to show why they're the number one seed. So I've got Virginia going on. All right. Next matchup we got Kentucky versus Arizona.
This was a coin flip for me.
Really?
Because I do like Aiden, the kid from Arizona, but I think the more complete team, and I think actually has been a little underrated this year, it has been Kentucky. I like John Calipari, and this is kind of what I do. I look at who's the best player on both teams. I look at who's the best coach and who has the best defense. And I think Kentucky has 2 out of the 3, so I got Kentucky winning it.
No doubt that Kentucky has the better coach. However, I just think Arizona's got a better overall team. They got the best player in the nation, and I get it. You've got a group of freshmen that are super talented in Kentucky. I just think Arizona is just too much. So I've got Arizona winning that game.
Not a wrong pick, because I think I'm wrong. I was looking at it while you were saying that, I can't believe I picked Kentucky, but I did. So
you lay the bed you making, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right, so we've got Loyola Chicago versus Tennessee. Andrew?
Well, I have Miami versus Tennessee.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, dang, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I actually have Miami beating Tennessee. I think this Miami team has some talent, and I think they're going to get some momentum winning their first game, and I think it'll go into Tennessee because Tennessee's going against Wright State, and this is where the top seeds kind of lack. When they kind of lean back like, oh, we won our first game easy, and they forget about the second game. So I do feel like Miami's going to win this. So yeah, I have them going in the sweep.
Gotcha. I've got the Loyola Chicago beating Miami, which we talked about in the previous video. They're playing against Tennessee. I've got Tennessee moving on. I just think they're the better team, and they're going to beat that Chicago school. All right, next matchup, I have Nevada, and I have Cincinnati. Do you have the same?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. Who do you have winning?
I actually have Nevada.
Okay.
I really like this team, as we alluded to earlier. They're in the Mountain West, so we get to see them. I actually went to a Fresno State Nevada game, and I actually have a source Yes, I really, this is no joke. I really do have a source who told me that Nevada actually has most of their starters and most of their team are all transfers. Guys who were on the bench on good teams and really weren't going to start until maybe senior year. And a lot of these kids, it's a one and done league in the NBA, so they're trying to find any way they can to start. And Nevada has that team. This is a really underrated, skilled team.
Very cool.
And Nevada, I think they're going to be very scary. Cincinnati is always a good team, but I feel like everyone's kind of not really seeing Nevada as a good team.
Yeah.
And Nevada, I really feel like, is going and winning this game.
I like that assessment, and I like your inside source there, Scheffner.
I'm dead serious. I actually have a source.
I still have Cincinnati beating Nevada. I just think they're an overall better team. They play in a stronger conference. Not saying that Nevada isn't a good team, just because, like what he said, we see these teams a little bit more often than normal outside of our regular team. But I just think Cincinnati is a stronger team, and I see them maybe making it a close game with Nevada, but I don't think that Nevada's going to beat Cincinnati. So I've got Cincinnati moving on.
All right, we're going to move to the West region in the round of 32. First, I have Xavier and Missouri. Do you have the same?
I do.
All right, who wins?
We got Xavier. They're just the better team. Missouri's is a great team, but I think Xavier's better. So
I think this is the first #1 seed that goes down.
What?
I think Xavier is a little overrated at the #1 seed. I think they should have been maybe a 3 seed. Actually, I think they should have been a 4. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Missouri is a really good team. They did miss their best player majority of the season, and he's coming back. What I saw from him in his first game back, 12 points for the injury that he had. I just like Missouri. I think they're winning this game.
Good point.
All right. I have Ohio State versus Gonzaga. Do you have the same?
I do.
Who wins?
Got Gonzaga winning. I just think they're a stronger team that got back most of the team from when they went to the championship game last year. So I've got Gonzaga based off experience and skill.
Yeah, same. I really can't put much to that. I have Gonzaga winning. They have a better defense, better coach, and they have better players. All right, so I have Houston and Michigan. I think you have San Diego State and Michigan.
I do.
Who wins that?
So in my matchup, I have Michigan beating San Diego State. I was making the point that Houston is a good team, but San Diego State, for some reason, always finds a way to upset. I think that they do Houston, but Michigan is where it's going to stop for them. Michigan's going to go on.
I have Michigan beating Houston. I like this Houston team, but I think Michigan, also one of those teams, they've won the last 2 years. They have been the Big Ten winners. So I think this is a really underrated team. I think they got seeded right in this tournament, and I think they go on and beat Houston.
Very good.
All right, final matchup in the West region. I have Texas A&M and North Carolina. I believe you have the same.
I do.
Who do you have winning?
North Carolina. I just like their team. They're always a strong team. You really can't go wrong, especially with the coaching. They've got basically almost every player back from last year's championship game based off of experience and the fact of your coach. I just think there's just no way that Texas A&M is beating them. So I've got North Carolina moving on.
Yeah, I do too. Nothing I really can add to it. North Carolina's a better team, better coach, better team. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the East region of the round of 32. We've got Nova versus Virginia Tech. Drew, do you have the same thing?
I have Nova and Alabama.
Okay, who do you have moving on?
I have Nova winning, and I think it'll be very close. I think this Bama team is really underrated. That Sexton kid is really good, and when you have a really good team, it makes your team elevate in college basketball. But I think Villanova is way too strong, and I think they overcome Alabama.
So you have Nova moving on. I've got the same Novas moving on. I have them beating Virginia Tech. I don't see it like he does with his Bama game. I think Nova's going to break away, and it's going to be a very convincing win. All right, so the next matchup we have is I have West Virginia versus Wichita State. Do you have the same?
I do.
Perfect. Who do you have moving on?
I have Wichita State. I think they're a better team. I think the seed does not actually show how much better Wichita State is than West Virginia. West Virginia is a nice team, but I don't think this is their time. I think Wichita State wins.
I actually think that this is somewhat of a minor upset, and I have West Virginia moving on from Wichita State. I think that they will find magic, and just because they're a gritty team, I think they're gonna pull it out. So
wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised too. All right, next matchup we got is I've got Florida and Texas Tech. Do you have the same or something different?
I have Florida and Texas Tech.
All right, who do you have moving on?
I have Florida winning.
Okay.
I actually like this Florida team a lot. SEC, man, they showed up in college football and in college basketball this year.
Yeah.
I really like this Florida team. I think they win. I wouldn't say handily, but I think they beat Texas Tech. Okay.
I've got Florida moving on as well. I'm convinced that they're a great team. I just think that, and it's kind of weird too, because Florida's only ranked 6th, and we've got Texas Tech as 3, so it's somewhat of an upset. But I feel pretty convinced that Florida will handle this just fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Florida is a world beater, but I think that they're going to make some noise, and I think Texas Tech is going to run into them. So. Next matchup, last one in the East region, I have Arkansas and Purdue. Do you have the same?
I have Butler and Purdue.
Who do you have winning?
I have Butler in the upset.
Oh, okay.
I think Butler is a good team, but here's the thing. I don't think Purdue is as good as their seed is, because they do have a lot of issues going on with that team right now, and I really feel like Butler will actually pull it out. Purdue has been very inconsistent this year. Granted, I know their record doesn't show that, but from what I've seen, Purdue is going to go down.
I've got Purdue winning this. I think Arkansas, kind of what you argued why they lost to Butler, is Arkansas is too inconsistent. I think Arkansas will get past Butler, like I said in the last video, but I think Purdue will handle Arkansas very well. That's who I have moving on. So,
all right, Cody, we're going to the Midwest region now, and the final of the 32. All right, I have Kansas and NC State. I believe you have the same.
I do.
All right, who do you have going?
Ooh, this is a tough one, but I got Kansas going on. They're a great team, and I think that they have won their conference 22 years in a row or something like that, or 12 years in a row, or some astronomical number. So they're just they're just a solid team, and I've got them moving on pretty easily against NC State. I know we talked about that they played in the ACC and they gave Duke and those other teams some issues. But I just think that Kansas is going to do really well, and NC State is going to get bounced after this game.
Yeah, I have Kansas going on. I like this NC State team, like you were saying. I'm rooting for them, but I think Kansas is too strong of a team. I think they move on.
Yeah.
All right, I have New Mexico State going against Auburn. I believe you have Clemson in Auburn?
Yes.
Okay. Who do you have winning that?
I've got Auburn moving on. Stronger team. They're ranked pretty low. Like what we both agree, they should be a little bit higher. And I think based off that, Auburn's gonna win.
Yeah, I have Auburn beating New Mexico State in this one. Even if they were playing Clemson, I would still pick Auburn. Auburn is a really strong team, like as you were just saying too. So, I'll talk more about Auburn later. All right, Cody, I have Syracuse and Michigan State. I believe you have TCU and Michigan State.
Confirmed.
Who wins?
I've got Michigan State. Tom Izzo. You're not going to beat him, especially with this TCU team that I have them playing against. I just think that Michigan State's a better team.
Yeah, I have Michigan State winning. It doesn't matter if they were playing TCU, Arizona State. It didn't matter. I have Michigan State winning that. So, all right. Last but certainly not least, Oklahoma and Duke. Who do you have going?
This is a tough one. I pondered this one because I think maybe Trae Young is going to upset Duke, but Duke is too strong of a team. They got one of the best players in the nation right now, so they're going to move on and beat Oklahoma. Trae Young is not. He's going to shoot 30-footers, but it's not going to be enough. He needs more help.
I'm glad you came to your senses. I have Duke. I have Duke. Yeah, Duke wins. I like Trae Young, but Oklahoma, like I said in the video before, they're not as good of a team. I think Trae Young elevates this team by a lot.
Yeah.
Duke is scary good.
Yeah, they are.
Scary good. So, all right, we're going to go to Sweet 16 in the next video.
Stay tuned.